And welcome to the new episode. See, Kathy, I told you had some new people. You had Trash Panda 42 follow you recently.
Hey, Trash. How you doing?
I don't know if he's still there, but it showed up on the follow screen. We were live on Facebook. John and I had already set that up and going whenever you had left. It makes it a whole lot easier to do it. We should be completely live on everything. Hopefully everything's showing up correctly.
Of course it is. Everything always works right the very first time on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Everything works. What?
Perfect. What episode are we on, guys?
69.
69!
Because we're 12.
Because we're 12. We're not 12.
13.
I'm
9.
just painting pustules over here, guys.
I'm dry brushing chainmail and other metal bits.
I'm just looking at Facebook and stuff.
Slug.
Because I have to.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
Because John is our Facebook guru. Guys, if you're joining us on Facebook or on Twitch, get a good old hi in there so we make sure that you are there and we are coming through okay.
Yeah, jump in and say something. Say hi to me.
Say hi so we don't have to.
Yeah, somebody say hi to John so he doesn't feel lonely.
Oh, I always feel lonely. It's okay. How loud? Shit.
What?
Sorry, that drink was too aggressive. I don't have a filter anymore.
Uh-oh. What were you drinking?
That was Evan Williams cherry whiskey with cherry coke.
All right,
Gonzo. Both a bottle in a week. That may be a problem.
Wow.
Also may not be a problem. It sort of depends on how you look at it. Or I've lowered it down. Now I'm... let's not spoil it for... Well, it's drink time. Now I'm drinking Dr. Pepper with Fireball.
Ugh.
Gonzo, what are you drinking?
Today, I am going to be drinking a Dragon's Milk.
Ooh, yummy.
As my drink of choice tonight, because I had one ready and open and before we started the podcast.
Good.
So, that's mine.
No, I want one.
Come on over.
I'm drinking rum and Coke. I'm sure you're all shocked to find that I'm drinking the Kraken and Coke.
Kraken and Coke, it's classic.
Crack-a-lickin'.
Hey, Ronald, how you doing, man?
Hey, Ronald.
So, we do have one notable celebrity death this week.
Yep.
Uh-oh. No, we have more than one.
What's the other one?
The German fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld, unless that's who you were talking about.
No.
Totally not who I was talking about. Sorry. I was talking about Peter Tork from the Monkees.
Yeah, that was sad too.
Would be the only one of these celebrity deaths that someone I've seen in person. So I saw the Monkees years ago, sort of in their reunion tour. Mike Nesmith didn't make it, but Peter and Davey and Mickey, sorry, drunk, had made it. So two of those are now dead, unfortunately. But sort of how it happened.
Time marches on.
Yep. So, to them and everyone else, cheers.
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 I gotta look at a different camera now.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks to our sponsors, More Than Dice, who sponsor us in general, and...
Because we are More Than Dice.
Sponsor us in general. And to Archidan at Tectonic Craft Studios, who sponsors us mostly for the media section, but he's still awesome.
Also, Muse on Minis.
Muse on Minis, yes. Did I say More Than Dice?
You did say More Than Dice.
I did mention drunk.
Wow.
John?
That's my defense.
Watch Facebook.
You're fired.
I get to go sleep now? Oh.
Hey, Miles. Hey, if anybody, somebody give us a pop out in Twitch to make sure we're doing okay in there. Send us a quick message. Let's see if I can get...
That wind is crazy.
Hey, Crimson.
I
Type
totally
something
just
in
saw the
Twitch.
chat on Twitch for Facebook. Ronald Logan and Miles Healy.
Yep.
Hi. I'm just a little slow on the uptake, I guess.
right. Go back and forth. We're getting some weird wind here, so maybe you guys will hear that in the background. Maybe not. We will
We've
see.
had some insane wind here too all day.
Oh, so
I mean,
Jim-
in Chicago, that shouldn't be surprising.
No, it's worse than usual. I mean, it's always windy,
Hey, Gregson.
breezy,
Oh,
but
hey, Gravy, what's up, man?
it's throw branches off the trees breezy here.
Oh, well,
Today.
shit. I mean, when the Windy City's extra windy, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, we don't usually get this windy. It sounds enough that I was about to get upset at my neighbors, but it's not my neighbors. It's the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so anyways, where were we? I think you guys want to know what I did last week, since
Yeah, since we didn't get to do that.
in the pre-ramble for that.
Yep.
Well, this week, we had Holiday Monday, so that was awesome. Went and saw a movie. We'll talk about it in the media section. Had a great burger at a new place in the mall, and it wasn't one of the ones in the casino, which is impressive. But it is probably, it's quite possibly the best burger I've had.
Nice.
Ooh.
So it's from a place called Zen Burger. It was super, super good. I mean, it had a lot of avocado on it, but I just took the avocado off and ate the rest of the burger because I didn't feel like chopping the avocado into a appropriately sized piece, not giant fucking wedge. But in any case, that was cool. Saw a movie there. Didn't get any real games in or anything because our Transformers TCG night is Wednesday and we had snow on Wednesday. So they sent me home from early for work, but it was bad enough that no one came out. But we did run Age of Sigmar Slowgrow. We're in week 5 out of 6. Had sort of our lowest turnout yet, but that happens sort of late weeks and life happens and all. But still a bunch of games going on. Had to get some 40k players off the tables, which was always fun. They hate that. But a bunch of games going on, and I actually got 2 games. 2 people. One person was like, "I got no game." I'm like, "Well, I'll play it." And the other guy asked for me by name. The first one was also playing Gloomspite kits, but he was playing more normal Gloomspite kits. So it was goblins, giant squigs, and stuff. And I really thought he was going to whoop my ass the way his colossal squig ate my giant, a.k.a. Gargant, depending if you use normal words or the words that GW uses.
Wow.
And then his squig hoppers rolled in and just started crushing stuff. But apparently that's all of his offense. And once I dealt with that, it was downhill real quick. Man, I mean, trolls hit pretty hard, but you forget sometimes when they hit goblins and stuff, they're just dissolving beneath your vomit and such.
They just pop.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then the second game was against Daughters of Cain. He had 2 of the big chariots. One with the big used to be Rock'em Sock'em robots, the big Avatar of Cain sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of the Medusae and another one with just another Medusae on it. And he did some good damage, but man, I got the double turn 1 to 2, and my whole line charged and just crushed so much shit. It was crazy. They're all like, "You need to get done quickly, Zach, because we need to go to dinner." So they went to dinner quick. I was kind of surprised how much my guys whooped some ass. And then Saturday, good lunch with the guys, and then we did something we haven't done in weeks. We played Mediocre Trouble in the Big Easy.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh.
So we should have that up pretty soon?
Yeah, sure. Don't hold your breath, but soon. Yeah, we had to actually use... Well, apparently my players are so gun-shy, I actually had to use the phrase, "There are monkeys here, but none of them are weaponized." So, that was good. And then today, while he was cooking, Bane and I just played a little bit of Transformers TCG, tried out some new decks, which is super cool.
Yep.
So, overall, it was a pretty solid week. We're going to finish up the Age of Sigmar slow grow this week, prizes the next week, and then a couple weeks off before I run a 40k slow grow.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
The store's not doing too much aside from just letting you do what you want. So we had a little bit of discussion of that in the beginning. So I guess I got to step up because no one else is. But I had the discussion. But that's also sort of where our main topic comes from.
Yep. Which John had given us. By the way, if you are in Facebook, you can see Trevor. Make sure you hit him up. He is doing a new game that we have actually had him on the show talking about, Breachstorm. Models are coming out and doing a lot of other things with it. Look him up on there. Hopefully, which I thought was interesting, is a bunch of my local players were talking about his game because they'd done some demos and someone had mentioned it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's really cool." And I still have my little fire team. I don't know what you call them, Trevi. Don't be mad at me. Still, that I haven't finished painting up yet. That I plan on taking to the store pretty soon to have people play and test out because they were interested in it. And I'm like, "Yep, let's do that."
Awesome.
Other than that, also, guys, I don't have it set up, and I forgot to set it up. If you are listening and you want to buy anything from Use on Minis, make sure you use the discount code MORETHANDICE, all one word. You will get 10% off your order, and you will get to have some cool stuff.
What does Muse on Minis do?
Muse on Minis has a lot of tokens. Also, I was looking at it, and I got to brag about this because I'm a real stickler for terrain. And if anybody plays Infinity, you know how much terrain you need for Infinity. You need a ton. And they sell this really awesome package of, like, I think it's MDF, but don't quote me 100%, for terrain. And it's multi-leveled and different tiered and stuff, so it looks really, really good. I need to go ahead and set that up, by the way. Sorry, I am burping a lot because of this beer, so I apologize. I'll get these things set up so you can get these codes, because they are doing some really cool stuff with it, and they sell like a package of them, of like a set of table terrain, all for Infinity, which is really, really cool. Hopefully, Trevi will get his stuff out even further. We'll have some more stuff to show from him, because he's got some cool stuff.
And keep an eye on all the training, because just because it's branded for Infinity doesn't mean you can't use it for other games, honestly.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Any sci-fi game it'll work, and then, if Trevi does any training for Breach Storm, that'll be perfectly usable for other games also. I mean, I just grabbed training for everything, been liking some of the GF9 pre-painted stuff. You can put a little extra paint on it to make it work, but they're putting out a lot of good stuff, and a lot of this train price point, like, people have hit the price point that's really solid.
Yeah.
It is possible, and I mean, even if you're not playing at home, having a little box to bring to the store just to add bulk up, because, I mean, stores put terrain out, but people don't treat it as well as they could, and sometimes you just need a little more, especially if there's a lot of people playing when you're playing. Just grab a little box, bring it with you.
Yep. And like this, John will be copying over those codes and stuff over on Facebook if you really want it, because we give you a 10% discount as being a sponsor for them, and hey, 10% is decent amount of money, especially if you start buying a bunch of stuff.
Nothing to sneeze at. It's definitely good stuff.
Yeah. So
what is our topic today, guys?
That's all John. This is his show tonight.
What?
Yeah.
Surprise!
How to teach and how to learn a new game. Not just demos, but, more than that. And it all came about because of a conversation I had at the game store, which resulted in me almost stabbing a fool. I won't name it. Because I didn't need to know I almost stabbed his bitch ass, but I did. Because something came up. So I made my most recent slow grow. All of the objectives you achieve are all in line with learning what things are in the game. And that's sort of what you have to do. So my first suggestion, this seems like a well-duh, but if you look up this local group, it's not. Get the rule book. I don't know when the rule book to the game became optional, but apparently nowadays it's optional.
That's because it costs
Lord,
money.
No one reads anything. Don't even get me started. There's so many people who are like, this basic thing that's at the very beginning of the rule book, if you had taken the time to read it, will answer your question.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand a lot of people learn from other people. Understandable. But when you get the opportunity, you should get the rule book. I have a rule book for Age of Sigmar. A lot of people are borrowing it. And now, Age of Sigmar is one of those weird games like Infinity where you don't have to purchase the rule book. There's an app and it's free, but there is extra stuff in the rule book, and in this case, extra stuff that you could use. But you should be looking at the rule book first, because it is very important to playing.
A lot of games now are doing free PDFs of the rules. You won't get any fluff in it or, anything else, but you'll definitely get,
And
the
this is gonna
the
sound horrible,
basic.
but I think that's a bad thing.
But it is. But there's no excuse not to. Is what I'm saying. If
Well, so,
someone
so
gives you a free, rule book, go read it.
no. But the thing is it's bad because they're not all complete. They leave things out, understandably so in most cases. But it's stuff maybe the players need to know, and they're like, "Oh, I just got a free one, whatever," and they take it for granted, and they don't actually put the time in to learn all the basics properly, which is a problem. So the first thing you need to do if you're teaching or learning is get the rule book, read the rule book, however you do it. Um, in most cases, the free one will cover, like Infinity, the free one will cover. But in something like Age of Sigmar, the free one on the app doesn't have everything.
Correct.
It's got how to play the game, but there are parts such as playing in the different mortal realms that are in there that you should be using in the game. So you need to look at that, and if you're running the game, you need to encourage people to look at that.
And you need to be very, very familiar with the game before you even read over, do some demo games with yourself. Before
I would
anything
actually challenge you. You just need to be familiar with the game, not really familiar. I've written up slow grow league rules for games I have never played, but you do kind of need to have a familiarity with the game. You need to understand the idea of it. You need to at least read the rule book, basically.
Be
But
ready.
after that, is you need to make sure you're teaching people the rules right. And it seems crazy to say this. This is all very basic stuff, but make sure if someone has a question, stop and read the rulebook with them. Show them where it's found.
Yes.
I mean, we had a thing in Age of Sigmar where they're like, well, how, someone's like, this is actually not there. This is streaming with Fat Monkey Games. They're like, oh, it's just 3 inches to control a objective. I'm sure that's right. It's no big deal. And I'm like, no, it's 6 inches. She's like, no, it's 3 inches. We're fine. So I go and grab the rulebook and I flip to the page and I'm like, it's right here. It's 6 inches, sucker.
Yes.
And it seems rude to do that, but you need to teach people right, because if you teach someone wrong, they will teach someone else wrong, and they'll teach someone else wrong, and then everyone's playing wrong.
Correct.
And then the first person who comes in sort of gets crucified, even though they're playing by the damn rules. And this sort of goes to the topic of the almost stabbing, is where a gentleman said, oh, there's this rule in the rule book that says you can do this. And we're all like, we've never heard of that before. That's really strange. And some of the guys just took his word because he's a veteran player.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I would take his word, but since I'm running the game, I'm like, hold on, let me look at the rule book. Flip the rule book, and I'm like, well, you're right and wrong. It says you can do X, but it also says you can only do X if Y. He's like, well, any tournament's going to rule on my favor, and don't worry about that. I'm like, no, it's in the rule book. Rule book. So it sounds crazy, but make sure they show you. It sounds like you're being an ass. Hey, Alan, how's it going, man? It sounds like you're being an ass, but you're not. You're just learning the rules properly.
Correct.
That's so important to learn the rules properly. They'll thank you for it. You're not being rude. You're not being an ass. It's show me. There's so much FAQs now. So many games are doing the right thing and doing sort of a living FAQ where they're answering so many questions, putting so much information out quickly that you can't necessarily have it all just having a rule book. There's FAQs and everything. Just show them. We all have, most of us have devices that can just jump on the internet and find all the information you need. So find it, show it to them. If there's a rule that's important to you, like, oh, I read this is cool.
Show me
mark
where you
that,
found
show
it.
that to everyone. We do that with we do that with Star Wars Legion. Every time we learn something new, we post in our Legion group, hey, we learned X rule and Y rule and Z rule. Because it's important to note that your learning helps everyone else learn. And make sure you're familiar with where it is, because you're going to need to show people, and that's okay.
Well,
I've been that person. I've been that person who's learning the game. And I had somebody just say, oh, well, it's this. It's just this. And I'm like, I don't want to insult you by, I don't want you to think I don't believe you, but I want to look it up in the book so that I know where it is in the book in case it comes up again and you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to necessarily remember this. I just want to be familiar with where it is in the book. I learn better if I read the rule to myself. rather than having somebody just tell it to me. I remember it better.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you get that person who's like, well, what? You don't believe what I'm telling you? You think I'm cheating? And I'm like, no,
No, we don't.
I'm learning the game. I just want to, see
Make
where it
sure.
is in the rule book and make sure I understand it right.
And the reason that you need to do this is because there's a saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And that's not true so much as that it's more that when you start teaching the trick, the dog thinks it's seen the trick, and so it just goes with what the old trick was. No. We will read something and stop halfway through going, I know where this is going. I've seen a million games. It always goes here. This might be the millionth and one that doesn't do that. So
I have a friend who's been playing D&D since the very beginning of Dungeons and Dragons. And he plays in our 5th edition weekly game. And he'll sometimes remember the rules the way they were in AD&D or in, 3rd edition or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works anymore. I know what you're saying. It used to be that way, but it's not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, there is. When we went from Mark II to Mark III in War Machine and Hordes, we were like, this. I'm like, no, that's old edition. I'm like, dang. And you got to get used to it. And it's a common mistake, especially when you go into new editions. But yeah, that was, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Crimson makes a point, too.
Yeah, Crimson makes the point that sometimes the new players know better than the veterans because they've read the rules more recently than the veterans. The veterans just take all the veteran knowledge, like I said, for granted and assume that what the other veterans say is right. Well, maybe it's not.
It's so true. In a group, we had a Blood Bowl league, and Jim and I were pretty new to the game. And these guys had been playing forever, and they were doing the block rule completely wrong.
Oh.
And we learned it completely wrong because of them.
Mm-hmm.
We went to play in another league somewhere else, and we were doing this for years. We went to play in another league somewhere else, and they're like, no, that's not how it is. It's like this. And we'd look in the book and everything, and they're explaining it, and we're like, I don't understand how I missed that.
You're like, son of a bitch.
One of the things you got to learn, especially if you're doing tournament stuff, is if someone comes up with a weird, obscure rule that you're like, what? It goes back to John saying, show me.
Yep,
ask them to show you.
And, it's all good.
And it's not being a dick, because there are plenty of times where like, well, so-and-so said it was good. I'm like, well, where did so-and-so get it?
GW style. This so-and-so is Jervis Johnson coming down from on high to tell us what the rules are. I don't really care.
But I mean, you need that. You need to show people, especially weird interactions.
Yes.
Because a lot of our games have a lot of weird, strange interactions now that you're just like, what? Okay. Can you show me what that is?
Up a good idea, too, is that there are quick start pamphlets included with the rulebooks. Use them.
Yeah.
Maybe, even if it's just you with somebody real quick, like, let's go through the quick start real quick so you know what's going on. That's what those box sets, one of those things the box sets are great for. Quick start rules are great. They may not teach you all the right rules, #TransformersTCG, but they actually teach you some of the rules. Like even the ones in some games, they may not be fully right, but they teach you part of the rules very well.
Even if all you get is the order of play, that's helpful.
Yeah.
And when you're teaching people, don't hesitate to stop and take things slow for them. If you see their eyes start to glass over, you've lost them. Stop and go, all right, where did I lose you? And it's nothing against them. No one can take that much information at once. We're not built for that. We need to really get in there and immerse in the information. If you're just throwing rules, I noticed and Morton Joe, one of my buddies, is learning how to play Sigmar, and he's been just thrown through the ringer. He had full-on 2,000 points as his first game against Beastman with all these crazy rules, and then second game versus Sylvanev, 2,000 points. And I'm like looking at him, and I'm messaging him. I'm like, man, they really threw you in the deep end. You need to play something much lighter than that. You need to get in on the ground level and just get someone who's got basic shit to learn.
Yeah.
I must say is why I like these Troggoths so much, because I don't have a lot of tricks. I just come forward and we roll dice in combat. You're going to learn combat.
That's what I always liked about ogres.
Yes.
Very basic.
But yeah, you got to show it. You can't feel bad about asking someone to show you. Who cares as a veteran? Put that aside. They may not have seen what you've seen. You go, hey, I saw this cool interaction. Even before the game, bring up interactions. Like, hey, I saw this interaction. Is this right? I mean, I hate to say it, but even the Facebook groups, though occasionally full of piss and vinegar, are really good for some of that. The people ask simple questions. There's a lot of people who won't answer. You'll get some sarcastic fuckers, but ignore them.
Yeah.
Who cares? Fuck those guys. They're just going to sit in their superiority of knowing the game and don't worry about it. Sometimes you actually need to sit there and ask the interaction, and people will tell you what the interaction is, and it's good. Yeah. Bane mentions he should have think more like that rather, or ogres, more their style, just smash face. Yeah, his army, he's playing the Tiznatch, and there's a lot of tricks in it, and he's catching on pretty quickly, but it is not necessarily doing what he expected. He is not bash face as well as others. Yes, Trevi, some of those games are lighter than AOS. The Transformers TCG Quick Start rules are...
Oh my god.
Tragic. You play part of the game. But anyways, that's not here or there. But actually you can go with card games too. It doesn't have to be miniature games. It could be any game. Role-playing games.
Oh yeah. Well, even in our... And you bring up card games, and I'll go right back to my Champions game, like I always do, because it's the only card game I play. There's one interaction with a spell that's War Chanter, and I would say every week somebody posts in the Discord about how the interaction runs with that, and it happens so often that one of the guys just copied his reply so that he could just paste it every time someone asks that question, because it's complex. It's a complex way of looking at the rules, and when you actually read the rules and the standard order of play, you can see how it works.
Yep, and if you're teaching people, don't just discount them because they're asking a question that was asked a week ago. Who cares? Maybe it's their first week in the group. Maybe they didn't scroll down through a million Facebook or forum posts to go look. Yeah. Answer it. If you know the answer, just answer it. You'll be their hero.
I always get riled up when people complain that somebody's asking a question that's been asked 1,000 times before.
You get the,
why do you care?
Like, who cares?
Just answer it.
Yeah. If it's just this again, then you know the answer. Tell them the answer. It's all good. We're all in this together. There's no exclusionary. Just help them out. That's
building the community.
That's the teaching part. You need to be able to teach people how to do all the stuff. Do all the stuff. Slow down for newer players if you have to. You know, I know you want to play games quick because it means you get to play more games, and everyone likes to shit stomp somebody, pardon the phrase, once in a while, but you don't want to do that to new players. You need to teach them.
Yeah.
But with the same thing, you don't want to... You want the new player to win the game, but you don't want them to think you let them win the game.
You don't want to hand them the game.
So, which is why, honestly, I tell new players, you're probably going to lose against me. But any game that you win against me, you take that shit seriously because I don't give shit away. That's good. You earn that. Yeah, but I will teach you every step of the way. I'll stop and teach you like this. You know, just take it slow. You know, if you're going to teach someone a new player to play the game, don't go like, oh, I'm going to teach you real quick and then we're going to... No. Take all the time that they need.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're being selfish. You're being there for them. You're not there for you playing a game. Your enjoyment's going to come later as this guy gets better and better and learns how to play and you play normal games against them. The first couple times, you are there strictly for them to learn. You're getting from the game future enjoyment. You may even get enjoyment out of teaching people. Maybe you. You know, you're going to get some stuff done. May show some cool combos. But mostly what you're there to teach them.
Yeah. And going towards that about the new player, and it also depends on who the new player is, because if John and I are playing, and I know you've read the rules and you're ready and you're going, I'll show you combos, but don't ruffle stomp them on turn 1B or 2A or whatever.
Unless that's what they want, but
Correct.
That is part of what we call the gamer contract, which we all need to be more cognitive of, is there are people who you can just straight ruffle stomp, and they won't care because that's
used to
the game they play. You know, they don't hate the player; they hate the game. Like, if the game's bad, they'll be pissed off at the game. But if you're just doing it because that's what's going on, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term before.
Ruffle stomp?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never.
I'll be honest, I kind of raffle stomped Zach, but he was okay with it because Zach generally is the one doing the raffle stomping. And I mean, Age of Sigmar is one of those games when things go the wrong way,
They go the
you
wrong
get
way
raffle
quickly.
stomped.
Yeah. But the thing is it's knowing your audience because if someone's brand new to War Machine and Hordes, you're like, nope, I am going to bring something light and easy and show them cool mechanics of my army.
Yep.
I am not
you
going to
also
bring my
your-
tournament lists.
You bring your A game, but you don't bring your A list.
Right.
And that's where people get wrong. And that's why I love there are certain players who can just switch it on. Matt Hennemeyer, one of you people refer to my name. I love Matt Hennemeyer. He was one of our top tier. He gave, JVM run for his money in tournaments. But he knew how to immediately turn on, this is a new player, let me show him interactions. It was great.
Yeah.
Like, he was great at that. And for a top, what I consider sort of a top tier player in our local area to be able to do that, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you've got some other guys, Frank, one of our other buddies. I love Frank. Frank does not have that same switch.
Correct.
Frank's the kind of guy, as soon as they know how to play at a basic level, you can let them play Frank. They might get raffle stomped, but they'll learn from it because he's just doing stuff in the game. You don't let the new player play against him. And as someone who's running the games, you need to know who those people are. For example, aforementioned Zach. Zach is our raffle stomper, but he luckily knows how to tone it down a bit for people. So
Well, we have a guy that actually has a rule that he's not allowed to play anybody new.
you gotta take
Yep.
that rule.
Yeah, and which is okay because he knows that he can't turn it on and off. He's one of those people that it's just super ultra competitive, and that's the way he is, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we tell that new person, if you ask him for a game, he will give you a game, but you have asked for it.
Yes. We're no longer in control of what happens at that point.
Yeah,
It's all on you.
But he is forbidden from
Yes.
asking for the game.
And he knows that. I've said to people, like, you don't want to play me first. Let me play that. Which is also why I tend to run games, is because then I can arrange, like, oh, you should play him, you should play him, you should play him, you should play him.
Yeah,
And I know it's hard because we all want to play games.
correct.
But remember, the point of teaching people games in these learning leagues is future enjoyment. You may
Future
not get
people.
the enjoyment right now. You're getting them to the level where you can get the future enjoyment. And by laying off and letting other people play games, and there are some weekends I sit there and watch. They're all playing games. I don't get to play any games, and it's okay. I have an army ready. I follow the same rules as everyone else. We're ready to go. I don't keep track of a sheet or anything, but I'm ready to go. But if not, I just arrange people. I mean, our old drop zone games, rest in peace, War Machine Journeyman Leagues, I'd be sitting there just arranging. I'm like, all right, they're almost done. Hold on here. Okay, when they're done, you go to that table with him. You go to that table with him. Sometimes you just got to do that stuff.
Oh, it's like someone was talking to me on the way back from a tournament. They were talking to me about what I did for War Machine Weekend and stuff, and he was like, well, you play a lot of games. I mean, what do you do there? And I says, I don't think I've played maybe 3 games at War Machine Weekend in like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, back when I was a press ganger, I was like, I need to play some games. Oh, someone new came in. Well, there you go. I'm going over here. I'm going to help them learn the game because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to know how to just teach this person how to have a good time with this game. And that
Absolutely.
is very, very important and very, very hard for some people to do. Because some people get ultra competitive and some people just, they would rather play someone else.
I also like what Crimson 1919 says. He says, I find I often intentionally give the new players some opportunities to start and then try to come back later. I like that.
Yeah.
Or I like to not go after the objectives, and I like to let them go, oh crap, I can go after the objective and win the game.
Yeah.
Let them sort of get that realization that it's purposely not going after it because I'm going to teach them how to bust face. But, I'm not worried about winning. No. It's all good. Coptic anybody said he checked in just to make sure you haven't burned the place down. And then Jason Hensley replies, I protect it. We're supposed to burn things down. Both of those are true statements.
Moondoggy!
Oh,
Sporting that awesome badge.
So,
But I mean, that is very there is a tier to letting people into the game. You go, all right, let me show you the basics. Here is the minimum points, blah blah blah. Here are the basic mechanics. All right, we've graduated from that. Let's step it up a bit, and then you eventually get to where, hey,
You're on your own.
you're on your own. You want to learn how to play in a tournament? All right,
But
pants are
are
off.
you ever really on your own? Because you still got all those people there who
Correct.
We love to talk tactics and thoughts. I mean, literally, you hand me your book and go, I was thinking of X, Y, and Z. I'll look at X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
and figure it out. I mean, I'll be honest, Congo occasionally goes, hey, I'm looking at starting X list. Can you look and see what you think? And I'm like, all right, hold on, let me bring this stuff up. And this seems good, this seems good, and this seems good.
Craig, you're not really on your own until
No.
you're rolling the dice and you're doing it. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you, okay, my meta, like I said, is super competitive. We should all be helping each other out to become better competitive players. Hey, I'm building this list. Well, here's another combo I think is better with your list. And this is the reason why I think. Not just being, it's better no matter what I say because I say it. Tell me the reason why. Tell that person why. Ask, the reason why this is better.
Criticism is a lost art in the modern society.
Yeah. And when you tell these people, this is the reason why I think you should add this guy instead of this guy is because it'll, increase your damage output or, you'll get Pathfinder everywhere all over the board. And they may not see the combos that you see. And that's a good thing.
An important question.
Uh-huh.
Why are you painting that goal opposite?
I'm doing all the symbols. See how this is pitted?
Yeah, but you should do the gold first, then go the silver, because then it's just easier.
No, it's not for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
See? There's fun. I brought something to Gonzo. He countered with why. It's all good.
No one is stepping on your fun.
Nope. It's just easier for me to do it this way.
Yeah, no worries.
But there's the thing is you're there to help them, and if they say, well, I want to try this out, okay, go try it out. And we're like, okay, I didn't care. Like I talked to a friend of mine, asked him, what I thought about the Wolves of Winter list. What would he run? He said this, this, and this. Okay, and I see why. Recursion, good. Blah blah blah. Awesome. Went and played it. Hated every minute of it because I kept on jamming myself up. Nothing wrong with his list. Nothing wrong. It is now a playstyle problem I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
And
Will Pagani is somewhere twitching.
but I mean, it was a playstyle thing.
It's a real thing,
Yeah.
and you should look at that too. If you're looking at a new player coming in and you can see their playstyle from what they're doing initially, help them find that right spot. And it's hard because going into a game, they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to get models, honestly.
Yeah.
The model looks cool. That's a great play style. I mean, I do a lot of that. I'll start an army because models look cool. A bunch of armies I want to start because I love how cool some of those models are.
That's the reason why I picked up these blacksmiths.
But a lot of us who are veterans can change our play style. We have different play styles we like. But for a new player, they'll bring up new models that are cool and all that. You got to help them get into that army and help them decide. Honestly, if you're the one who's going to be running a lot of the games, be willing and able to bring an extra army for somebody. I mean, it might even mean that you don't get to play.
Especially if they're like, well, I don't have that model. Oh, I do. Or I know someone that does.
Or even to start like, hey, I want to start, but I haven't found an army I really like yet. I'm like, well, here, you can borrow my army to play and learn the game, and then you can look at the rules and start figuring out what it is. Because even, a lot of games, the models are, seeing the rules for models is free or easy to find.
Yeah.
You can easily, peruse your buddies' codices, codices, I guess, technically. Their army books, their app, or even get the app themselves. I mean, heck, the Age of Sigmar app is free. You see all the rules. Infinity has all the rules online for free. Malifaux's in a weird spot. 40k, you can borrow a codex or something. But you can start seeing what it is. Once you have that knowledge, once you help them get to that knowledge, they can start making their own decisions. You're giving them agency to make their own army at that point. To see, I like the way these guys look. I like how that all comes together.
And usually, if you've got a decent-sized community, somebody has that army somewhere.
Yes. And honestly,
That's how I learned how to play Malifaux was one of the guys at the local game store actually lent me a crew. Just lent me a crew to just play whenever, just to get used to. And like you were saying earlier, it was one of the really easy ones that didn't have a lot of weird tricks to know.
Mm-hmm. I've done that too. The two things I did with Malifaux was one is one of my buddies, little Chris, wanted to play Parker Burroughs, which is sort of Bandito gang. So I let him use my Parker Burroughs, which I was originally going to run for it, but I'm like, more important that the newer player gets to play it. And he slowly bought models. I gave him a couple extras I had and all that. And the other thing I do is I will actually keep, if I win in a prize, a starter set for any game, I don't give that up. Because I want that for a new player. If someone comes in like, I want to learn how to play X, I want to be able to go like, well, here you go, Merry Christmas, learn how to play X.
Yeah.
And that's super cool.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to help a new player out. And you're like, well, I want to see what Tau is like, but I don't want to drop $400 on Tau and then find out I don't like it. Well,
exactly.
Here you go. I have Tau. I own it. What do you want? You may build your list, or do you want to do your own? Because I can bring anything. Also, another thing, and it's becoming a little bit easier, and people have got. But I know some people were upset about, oh, I don't want you to use a proxy. For new players or somebody that's trying out before they have to drop $50, $60 on a new model, let them proxy that model out. I mean, get over it. It's one model.
So in most circumstances, that's okay. There are certain circumstances it's not okay, but those will become apparent to you.
Tournaments.
Example, I'm thinking about running my 40K slow grow league as power level.
Okay.
Rather than points. But in that point, I'll be like, there's no proxying because power level doesn't care about what the models are armed with. It's just X points. And if you let them do stupid stuff, they will do stupid stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, the power level, I mean, I'm talking about, hey, I don't know if I really want to buy Ruin yet for Khador.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just use a Juggernaut to represent him for right now? Yeah,
and outside of any sort of organized format, that's great.
Yeah.
Like in a friendly game. And sometimes you want to do that with a person, like... So, even though my group doesn't necessarily play a lot of War Machine, we've kept a lot of the armies in the local group.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably not going to keep Ret. I don't play mercenaries in circles enough. Why the hell do I have Ret, much less minions? But if I get rid of them, I'm just going to give them probably to El Marshal and have him hold on to them. So in case someone in the local group wants to play Ret, there is Ret for them to play.
Yeah.
And if sort of thing, you pay it forward, maybe he just keeps it, and then someone's like, oh, I really want to play, and I want to play that. Suddenly you go, here's an army. If you don't like it, give it back. Otherwise, off with you.
Yeah. Miles Healy just said something about he's got a bunch of stuff for...
Yeah, 30 mechs in front of him and 12 more on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for Battletech, that's a ton.
I really want you to give me a good... I'd really love to hear how that is, because our store just recently got it, and I'm an old Battletech lover, I love the old mechs. We used to, at one point, we had so many RPGs going at once that we used to have a Battletech fight-off, and whoever won got to choose what RPG we were going to play for the week when we all got together. And I'd like to see how they change. So, Miles, if you ever get a chance, I'd love to hear a write-up on it and stuff about it, because I haven't got the money to go get it yet.
Yes, it's hard.
But I mean, going back to the topic of the letting people borrow models, I mean, most people are going to be good with their models. They're not going to, throw them around.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean...
And if you see that guy, then you just warn everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, just get with it and have a good time. Because there's one thing that we could always use is more players. More players keeps the game going, keeps the store open, keeps money coming in, keeps, you going to tournaments. And what I think is funny is going to conventions. When you have a lot of people going to convention, it makes the convention cheaper because you share hotel rooms and you share costs. And to me, that's super, super important.
Well,
so
also, more importantly, it means you have someone there
Correct.
And I don't think I've met too many gamers who are 100% socially adjusted. We're all kind of weird in our own way, and it's always good to have that fallback comfortable person where you're like, I just need to talk to someone who knows me and, chill for a bit. And you've got that there then.
Yep.
You don't want to be the guy hanging out in the corner because you don't know anyone and you're not feeling you're not in a meet new people mood.
Correct.
So that helps too. But also, you want to, when you're starting your new slow grow or whatever, you want to get people who haven't played each other to play each other. There's a couple of the players in my group who are sort of insular and haven't really played outside of their little group much. So I actually put it in my rules to reward people for playing new people every week.
That's good.
That's cool.
So try and get them out there, try and play everyone, because, I want everyone to play as many people as possible. It's part of it also is because you will get insular groups. You'll see those guys who show up for Friday Night Battletech and only ever play, themselves. And you don't want that. That's not good for a game.
You want to help build that community.
Mm-hmm. And so if anyone is ever out there and you want help building a slow grow rules, by all means, hit me up. I will help you. I will spend tons of time just researching and telling you what I do, how to do it. I am here to help because I want more people playing miniatures games, even if it's not in my local group. If it's your local group, that is good for me also, because someday I may be out that way, and then there's more people to play. And honestly, it's just good in general.
Talking about helping out and stuff, I had everybody knows I have this weird, funky, fun steamroller type format and Steamroller with a twist, where it's got just weird random things, some things that are hard to accomplish, some things that are stupid, just different things to do. And I had someone message me and was like, hey, do you still have that? Because my guys need to get out of a serious game and get into some fun, stupid shit for a bit. And I'm like, hell yeah, I have that. I keep that on my Dropbox. And she was like, good. And she was like, thinking about it. Because, there's the thing is, sometimes the silly stuff and the fun stuff that, you don't really think about really help out a lot of people learn the rules.
Yes.
Especially when you have achievements of, hey, do a two-handed throw. Well, not many people do a two-handed throw.
That is exactly the stuff like I would have in mind because there are rules you need to learn. I'm like, do this, do that, use the realm spell or the realm command ability for the mortal realm in Age of Sigmar. Those are points. Those are scoreable because I want you to learn how all that stuff works.
Yes. Trevor, we are always willing to help you out with anything you want. You just let us know. We will help and get you whatever you need.
Come on, if I can make slow grows rules for freaking what was that game? Warzone Resurrection. I can make slow grow rules for everything. I've never played Warzone. I don't own a current Warzone model. No current. I do have old Warzone.
There is no current Warzone.
Is it dead again?
Probably,
but
I didn't even know it was resurrected.
It resurrected a couple years ago.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, they had a bunch of models. They were trying really hard, but just was weird to get it going. But I wrote slow grow rules for our local store, and the guys loved it. So always happy to do that stuff. That's what I do. That's what I am known for. One of the players actually said, like, "Oh yeah, John, I'll play in your slow grow. They're always super fun." And that's the biggest compliment you can make to someone who's running slow grow leagues. I don't care what game it is. I'll run a slow grow. That is how you get people in. That's how you get people started. Everyone in together, low levels, make it. You want it slow and get together and they play together. It's what this game's about. Shit. Apologies, I'm rambling because I'm drunk.
It's okay. One thing we need to make sure that we do is. You were talking about the whole, playing people new. Mm-hmm. Include those people more often because, like you says, we're a bit cliquey, and that gets to be a problem, especially very intimidating for some people that are brand new to the game. That they're just like, oh, those guys are playing and making jokes and giving each other hell. I'm like, yeah, of course, because that's what we do. That's how we are.
Yeah, but invite them like.
Yes.
If they're hanging around at the end of the night and you guys are about to roll down to the local,
Whataburger
barbecue joint, go like, hey, we're going down to barbecue joint. You want to come? Throw stuff like that. Nothing gets you a bonding better than eating over, eating good food together.
Yeah. hanging out because they may have questions about the game that you
Yeah.
didn't know about.
Or maybe they just want to shoot the shit. Maybe they're new to the area and just want to meet more people.
Yeah, that's true too.
We all had to meet more people somehow and, get them involved. Or Taco Rocks. That's only in Tennessee, Brad. Only in Tennessee. It's the center of the freaking universe down there. Every time we drove somewhere, like, there's Taco Rocks again. Sorry. Inside joke, kind of. Not really.
Kind of.
A little bit.
But I mean, unless they're like major douchebags, invite people to do things.
Yes. And if they're major douchebags, I mean, if they want to hang out, cool, but, be aware in this regular social situation, you can call them more frequently on their bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll learn. There are some guys who I would not play a game against who I'm happy to sit down and have a meal with.
Yes, yep.
They're just different in that, and it's all good, Maybe they just want to be part of a group. Maybe you can help them, I'll be honest, there's a couple times I have called people out on their shit and it helped them, change that shit.
Yeah, some people aren't aware that they're doing something shitty.
Or maybe don't realize people know they're doing something shitty, and they get there's some people who don't care.
Yeah.
But
There
give
is
him a
that
chance. There's a guy I gave a chance to. I told him, like, I went on like a 10-minute non-profanity rant, because in the Games Workshop store, about how I wouldn't play him basically as the last person left on fucking Earth. And he left shocked and thought about it. And then, the Games Workshop employee is like, I really wanted to kick you out, but you didn't curse and you didn't raise your voice, so I got nothing to do here. And then he came back, a couple months later, and everyone was like, oh, he's great to play against. He's the funnest guy I play against. Walk by some of his games, and he's playing absolutely flawless, rules, perfect, no cheating, no nothing, gracious. Like, it changed everything he did for games. Sometimes they need that.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'll be honest, there have been times in my life where my friends were like, hey, dude, you are surly, and I don't want to fucking play against you ever. And sometimes you just got to change how you are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You call people on it, people will call you on it, and at the end of the day, we're all going to be better people. And isn't that what we want?
Well, I mean, there's also times where, like, dude, you're being a dick while you're playing, and you're like, oh, am I? Sorry. Wasn't meaning to be.
We all have that competitive juice. Sometimes we're like, Urgh. Or, I'll be honest, as I've started to playtest certain things, rules become more fluid to me. I'm like, that is shit. They need to change that. But you realize they're not going to, because that's in print, and unless it's really egregious, they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you got to be like, well, that's the rule. Here's what it is. You have two choices. You can play against it or you cannot. But I have noticed that a little bit, and I need to work on that. But knowledge of yourself is important, and that's hard. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little talk about, how to teach people and how to learn. Honestly, if you have any more questions about it, hit us up. Facebook, Twitter, however. We'll be happy to throw any ideas your way, specifically, generally, however you want.
Yeah, especially if you have any ideas that you want us to talk about. I mean, our last two were, submitted, from, our Facebook group. Which you can always find, and always reach us there if you're looking for us. And that's a good way to, suggest, hey, guys, there's a new game coming out. What do you think about it? Well, shit, is it out? No? Okay, wait till it comes out. Let us do a review, and we'll talk about it.
Look, Trev's going to have slow-grow rules for his game shortly. Shortly after we get rules and all for it, he'll have slow-grow rules because, that's what we do. I'm happy. We're happy to help.
Yeah, we're always willing to help out.
We're here to build the community. However we can. Mostly by talking and drinking.
Look. I have them right here, Trev. They're not gone. They're right here waiting to be painted. So, we still have stuff. I still have stuff. So,
I don't, but let's be honest. Last time I painted a model, it was last year.
But isn't your dog red now?
He comes red. He's red on the sprue.
He's red on the sprue.
I appreciate your faith in me, Kathy. It brings me joy, but no, he's always red.
Never mind.
Yep. Sorry. Not sorry.
She's like, don't talk to me.
Wow. Not that bad. Jesus.
Just don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me.
I'm told you painted once upon a time.
I did once upon a time, and I plan to again. Just, I keep getting stuff to build.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Look, I'll be the first one to say, well, Trogoths are awesome. It may not have been the best idea to start a brand new army for a slow grow, and then I don't get to paint anything. Because that's what happens. I build a new army and suddenly I don't have time to paint. Because building comes first, then painting, and then you go to the next project. Unfortunately, I'm skipping the painting portion of it.
Well, at least you're playing the stuff.
Yes.
I am.
You're just not collecting them.
No, I don't just collect. I mean, heck, if you saw my recent group of rebel commandos, God, that was hard to say. I converted heads on most of them and did all sorts of crazy stuff on them. I'm almost out of crazy heads to convert with, which is unfortunate. Hopefully someone's making some new ones because, damn it, I'm going to need more heads. Somebody get me some heads!
Get some heads. Heads.
Heads will roll.
Using a paint called Dirt Splatter.
And still you're dead?
So,
Have
what
you
time
been
are we at,
shaking
John?
the paint? Is that the sound I was hearing?
Yeah, that was me shaking the paint. Sorry.
Okay, good.
John, what's our time looking like?
Almost time for media section brought to you by Archidan and Tectonic Craft Studios.
Oh, okay. Let me get this brown on here real quick then.
Yeah, get that brown.
Get that brown. Get the brown on there. Well, it is dirt, and I'm using a paint called Dirt Splatter. First time I've used
Splatter, indeed. I actually bought some. I bought both types of a Grelin Earth and a Grelin Badlands texture paints.
Oh, yeah. Those are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm not sure which I'm going to use on the Troggoth bases with the cork. I don't know which one.
Just experiment on something flat first. You can see what they do.
Oh, yeah, I'll get a base and put some cork on it, do everything I normally do, and then try it out. That's how you do.
That's how you
And
go.
then whichever one is the thicker one and can go with less underneath basing stuff, I will use on my Legion models when I start painting them. Oh, which is on my list, because I like Legion. It is fun. I need to play more Legion. But we're not going to have a slow grow of that for a while until the Clone Wars box set comes out.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking too, is when the new set comes out, because supposedly there might be some stuff at Adepticon. I know that Adepticon has some new fighters that are specific.
When's Adepticon?
Next month?
March.
No.
March 20-something.
Yeah, no Clone Wars, trust
No,
me.
there's I meant to say there's a clone fighter for X-Wing.
Oh yeah. They'll have some of that, but they won't have any Clone Wars for Legion. I could see Gen Con.
Because they said there's a special painted version clone fighter.
Oh, that's cool.
Specific to Adepticon this year.
I like that. Now, some people don't like that, but I like alternate picture, alternate art, alternate paint scheme for pre-painted stuff from a show. That is cool.
Yeah.
I just don't like only available at certain show.
Like alternate rules that are only available from a certain...
It's the Transformers cards that are only available from Comic-Con last year that go for so much money. I'm just not going to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still have not received my loot crate. Have you received your loot crate yet, John?
No, we shouldn't have. It would just shipped recently.
Oh, did it just ship? Okay.
You could order it until the 19th, so it's been 5 days. So.
Oh, I didn't know when it was. I was like, oh, when was that supposed to ship out?
And we need Omega Supreme, damn it.
Yep, I need my Omega Supreme so John and I can beat the crap out of each other.
We'll have an Omega Supreme off.
Yep. Is it going to come with specific Omega Supreme battle cards?
No.
Just the Transformer?
Yeah, just Transformer.
Just a Transformer. All right, I got that brown on there.
Fine.
No, it's fine. No problem. I ain't going to argue with it. It's all good.
It is all good indeed.
All right, let's switch over to the media section. Media section, party time. Excellent. Oh, man. I jacked the crap out of my shoulder from going to the movie theater because I was sitting in some weird things, which I'm going to talk about during media section. So
I went to the movie theater this week, too.
What? We both went to
Did we just lose our... Oh, never mind. Banyan hates painting?
Yes, Banyan hate painting. Ooh.
He does.
There goes Facebook.
It's true. Actually, paint's pretty solid, though. It's too bad he hates painting.
Sad.
It was a good Supreme off. Well, you might start seeing that on the Facebooks. Or even the Twitches. I don't know what Gonzo's going to do with it.
Yeah, we don't know. We're working something up to have some fun. Looks like I need to move.
Stupid head. Sorry, my Twitch decided to take a poopy.
Yeah, it went a little crazy there for a minute. You started getting some stuff in.
Yep. And Miles mentions that if you want to see the mechs, the page for BattleTech, and he has painted them all, you can go on the Hobby Streak hashtag Hobby Streak Facebook page, and we'll make anyone a member there and come see that. You can see me post every day.
Oh yeah.
447 days straight.
Damn.
I lose track.
You lose track. So
sounds terrible. I really do though.
Yeah,
447.
Which, if you were following John on his streaming live on Facebook, he'll be doing that very little.
We'll be doing that here and there. It's only like a half an hour. I'm going to try and get to a set time so you guys can know when to expect it. Probably only Monday through, Thursday at most. Friday, I usually get home late, and Saturday and Sunday, I don't do it at a set time because I do it when I can. Because I'm off. Do it whenever.
All right, Captain Scotty, buddy. Talk to you later, man. Be good. Stay out of trouble.
Oh. Hi there, Snickernack Studios.
Hey, Snicker Snack.
Oh, hey, Yudgy.
Yeah, I'd like to say a big thank you to her for helping me out this week. Her and I had a very deep, long conversation.
Awesome.
That was really informal. Or I should say not really informal. It was really...
informative?
Informative is a better word for it. Because her and I had a lot to talk about.
Informative is a very different word than...
I know. I've been drinking.
Don't let the drunk guy give you new words. It's not good.
I've been drinking just a little bit. Okay, so let's get on our media section.
Movies.
Kathy, you got anything?
Media. So Jim and I watched the 6 episodes of The Expanse this week.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
John
had been talking about it, so I was thinking it's time for me to give it a try because I like sci-fi stuff, and it sounded like my cup of tea. And oh my goodness, we really, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to maybe Tuesday when we'll both get a chance to sit down and watch some more of it.
I'm actually curious as what happens in the first 6 episodes. Give me a second. I'm going to take a look so I don't mention anything that happens afterwards.
Right. I really liked all the political intrigue that there is in it, and the fact that it seems to us so far that there's not really you've got Mars, you've got Earth, you've got the Belters, and between them all there's not really one that's the bad guy. Like the entire culture isn't the bad guy.
Gotcha.
Are there people in that culture that are bad? Yes. Are there people in that culture that are good? Yes. But you can't say Mars is the bad guy.
Correct.
You can't say that Earth is the bad guy, even though there's people from Earth that are doing bad things.
Being major douchey stuff.
And also I really like the whole, how gravity actually affects spaceships in space when they're moving and doing stuff. Like right at the very beginning, there's this ship that has to do kind of a complete 180 and go in the opposite direction. And they're like, we need to batten down all of the things that, that might knock around, because they knew that it was going to get really rough. And I like that kind of detail, that level of detail.
Yeah, it's good hard sci-fi.
I know a friend of mine, one of my local teachers, he'd never seen it, and he says they must have spent a ton on special effects. And I'm like, yep, they did.
But that's why sci-fi stopped it, because they can't afford special effects. But Amazon's like, oh no, we're in still. But so Kathy, you get stuff like Remember the Can't.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I love the space battles because they're not what you expect. They're not Star Trek. They're not.
It is so not Star Trek.
Star Wars, and they're just so refreshing.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the Donner battle.
Yes.
That was super cool. I really enjoyed that, and it only gets better from there.
Yeah, the series is real good.
Yeah, it's very, very enjoyable. It'll be Be good to hear what you think of the upcoming stuff because it's the tip of the iceberg. It gets stranger, more interesting, and more awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for the new season.
I still got 7 episodes left of last season, but I stopped off at
3?
4.
There's 4 seasons?
I think so.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was...
3 seasons.
There's 3, okay.
Yeah, 3 seasons from Sci-Fi. I'm on episode 6 of season 3, which leaves 7 episodes left, but it's a really, really good stopping point. It feels like it's the end of a book, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're based off books, so that is very interesting. A good stopping point, and I like that because otherwise I will watch and watch and watch. And I like that it's a good serial story. It's not. The problem I get with a lot of the other, like I was watching The Flash, is after a certain point, if you lose a little interest, it's not a good stopping point. It's all pretty. There's an overarching storyline, but it's all episodic inside that for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you get one of the rare, ones where it directly leads to another episode, you stop and you're like, do I need to go back? What else do I have to do? It gets crazy.
There was one where I didn't even realize it was the end. And so, well, to take you back, in a previous episode, like 15 minutes into the episode, Amazon just stopped playing it and went to the next episode. So I had to go back and it resumed where we had left off for whatever reason. So I thought that happened again in like episode 5, but no, that was actually the end of the episode, but it didn't seem like it. Not to me. Jim was like, well, of course it was. But yeah, no.
But no, it's good. I recommend it to everyone. Show Amazon that you like it, show it some love, watch it. If you have Amazon Prime, just spend some time watching it. Because it'll show them that it's worth the money to keep going. That's how we keep our series we love going.
Yeah, I like all the tiny little details that there are in it. How all the asteroids and space stations and everything is so dirty. And you get that sense that the Belters are just these poor suffering people who are just, it's like the blood diamonds in Africa, they're down in the holes digging the stuff and it's valuable and they never get to enjoy it. They have to ship it off to somebody else who just wants pretty jewelry.
And honestly, all of the characters are understandable. I haven't met anyone who's so evil or good that is unbelievable. I'm all like, these are all just people. And some are more good than others. Some have different political agendas. Some think they're doing good. Some need to die horrible, screaming, painful deaths. And some don't. And then I want to say that Amos is my spirit animal, but he isn't really. But sometimes I wish he was. Amos is the most refreshing character. There is no subterfuge to Amos. Amos is what he appears on the outside. More people could do better by being like Amos because there's nothing personal. It just is. I like it. Wait to get more of him. He just gets more and more. Even though he's simple, he gets more and more interesting as it goes.
More deep. Is it like in Leverage with
Elliot?
Yes. Yes.
Elliot's a little deeper than Amos. Amos doesn't take things personally. Just doesn't. It's amazing. He's just got that sort of disconnect, and it shows the way he acts. It's great. He would never win an award for the acting, but if you understand his character, you'd be like, he should win an award for his acting. I mean, I think we're all saying that it's zero space herpes for The Expanse because hard sci-fi doesn't have space herpes. I don't know. I'm starting.
On the other hand, I was drawing parallels to Ice Pirates at certain points, but not because of the cheese factor.
No, there's. Oh. Oh, speaking of that, we have next movie night coming up next Sunday. I should still be on the cast, but Alex and Anna wanted to watch. Alex, like, I've only seen Indiana Jones once.
Which, the first?
The first, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I'm like, all right, but in this case, we don't watch the bad movie first. We have to watch the good movie first because it is the standard bearer,
Yeah.
it is the one that all others are judged off of. You must watch it first.
Yeah.
That's my
Is that like-
all-time favorite. You know, I lost count after I watched it 70 times.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen it. A million. It's a ton.
Yeah.
The hardest part was finding a pair for it to be a bad movie, because he's seen The Mummy and will not watch Brendan Fraser again because he hates The Mummy. Don't judge him.
Huh.
Just continue.
Oh,
Okay.
I know.
Huh.
He's seen National Treasure. He hates Nicolas Cage. He doesn't want to watch it again. So I'm left with a pair of either, what is it called? King Solomon's Mine, starring Richard Chamberlain and Sharon Stone.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Or
Tomb Raider.
Firewalker, starring Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. Or Tomb Raider. We didn't think of it at the time. Firewalker's in the mailbox right now. Need to pull it out. And then I don't think King Solomon's Mine will be here in time. But I got them both, just in case. In fact, I could make a triple out of this. But anyways.
And now you need Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Right. Exactly.
3.
Yes, as you say.
So I can make this 3 times. Anyways. Gonzo, hit us with something before we go on to something else.
I have technically 4, and I'm going to combine 2 into 1.
Yes.
I watched the newest episode of Star Trek and the newest episode of the Orville. And we both know what the Orville is. It's kind of the spoofy part, but it does take a pretty decent sci-fi, stance. And they're kind of going on their big tirade. It's taken a less comedic turn lately, which is kind of weird. And it's kind of taking itself a little bit serious. There are some, funny jokes in there, and they do poke fun at things, but it has taken a little bit more serious turn. I don't know if anybody's watching it or whatever. Spoiler, Earth is getting attacked again. Big surprise, right?
Nah.
Yeah. And it's taken itself a little bit more serious, which is interesting. But I'm finding that I'm not as interested in it anymore as much as I used to be. It's kind of tapering off. The comedy isn't as good this season. It's just been okay. But what I have really liked is the new Star Trek. Holy balls.
I've been hearing so many good things about the new season of Discovery.
The
Well, it was
new
on a good
season.
channel.
I know, right?
I told you to get a hold of me. I can get you the entire season. You can watch it all.
No, they need to be taught. We're not going to stand for this. We're going to make a streaming service because we got one new show. No, fuck yourself. You're going to make it available elsewhere, or we're not going to watch it, and you can watch Star Trek die, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
Preach
Because
it.
I'm not going out of my way. I'm not paying you the money. I'm not paying like $8 a month for fucking commercials in a streaming service to watch your fucking Star Trek.
But let me get back on the Star Trek before John blows a gasket. So the new season of Star Trek, I've watched the last 2 episodes and caught up. And this has been going more the way people are used to Star Trek, with new alien races, new things going on. There is this huge, large plot going on about this red angel that's going around doing things around the galaxy, so on and so forth. But you're learning about new alien technology, new alien races, and the characters are just so good. This last episode, learning about Commander Suru's lifestyle and way he was and his everything else, has been really good. If you like old Star Trek of finding races and the original premises, you gotta watch this one. You gotta watch season 2. I like season 1 because it was a little bit more
I heard it was
dark
more
and dirty.
Effect.
More what?
More like Mass Effect.
Yes, I would agree with that. It was more combat, more more dark. But this new season has they've kind of steered it back into what the original concept of Star Trek is, and it has been super, super good. I usually have to do something while I'm watching TV because I can't sit still very well. And I could actually sit and I had to sit and just watch and was really into it. I even started looking up things after it was over going, ooh, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? So I was really, really into it. Got to watch the new season. New episodes up to date of Star Trek Discovery. I'm giving 0 space herpes. The new Orville stuff, I'm giving like 1.5, maybe 2. It's kind of dipping on me right now. So, I'm hoping to get better.
Format where it could dip easily because it's not It's not the loving homage something like Galaxy Quest is.
Correct. It just hasn't been as good.
Fair enough. Speaking of not as good, today I watched the entire movie of Drive, but not the one you're thinking of. No, this is Drive from 1997, starring Mark Dacascos, and man, it was a thing that happened. I'm trying to find a great way to describe this movie. The best way is 90s as fuck. It is like trying to be quirky buddy movie, but just doesn't hit. But the action is just good enough to keep you in. I mean, it's batshit crazy. Don't get me wrong. There is no action in this movie that is not batshit crazy. But it has some good points. Like, it jumps right into the story. It doesn't explain what's going on. You start off like, why is he hiding there? What's going on? Why are they not shooting him directly? Why are they shooting at his legs? They obviously want to take him alive. Why? No one's explaining anything. Well, Jesus Christ. But that's actually kind of cool. And actually, once they sort of lay it all out and have the exposition train, which is bonus because it is delivered by the gentleman who played Mr. Takagi from Die Hard, and he's a good actor. I really like the way he delivers lines. He's got a good, what should I put it, dignity sort of about him, good charisma. James Shigeta. But once we get through that, you get to, man, some weird stuff, and Brittany Murphy plays a very, very, very creepy young girl. She's like 20 when this movie came out, so it's not full creepy, but when the phrase, what was the exact phrase? I believe it was, I'm going to give you the Deliverance Party Weekend special, and as Mark Dacascos had just made a gay joke, that was really creepy as fuck. I'm like, what? But it turns out her name is Deliverance, and she's young, and she just wants to party. And she is hitting on the second lead, not Mark Dacascos, the gentleman playing, Kadeem Hardison playing the other character, who's sort of like an out-of-work guy who Mark Dacascos sort of kidnaps, befriends to get him to drive him to LA where he needs to go to do his thing. I can spoil it. He's got a like super energy thing in his chest that he wants to deliver to another group to make money. But it makes him super badass fighter. But they do add some interesting stuff for like he's got a rest lock that keeps your adrenaline pumping. But man, the best way to describe this is 90s as fuck and batshit crazy. And I mean, it's a solid three space herpes. Maybe 3.5. It's worth watching, but you just sit down and be ready for physics to leave the room, for anything making sense to leave the room, and just enjoy what the ride it gives you. It is the least realistic movie I saw this week, and when I tell you about the other one, that'll show you just how crazy. So,
wanted to comment on what's going on in the chat right now. Moondoggy and Banyan saying that the Orville, this episode, it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying overall, the entire season has kind of lost its good comedic value. It's kind of pushed itself away from the comedy and is getting more serious, which I watch my Star Trek for. I don't watch, the Orville for serious. Not that it was bad. It just doesn't seem like the Orville is doing what I thought it was going to be this season.
Fair enough. Kathy, you got any other ones, or was one? I mean, I guess you streamed 6 episodes of The Expanse. It's like 6 hours, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, Gonzo.
Today I watched a Ryan Reynolds movie, Selfless.
Okay.
The story is an old man's about to die. Since he's about to die, they contact a group of people. They can put his consciousness in another body, aka Ryan Reynolds' body.
Self/less.
Yeah, self/less. It sucked. Let's just put it blunt. The plot was completely predictable. The characters were bland and boring. Everything was just so laid out. It was like, really?
Someone
Okay.
told me about this movie. I feel like someone else told me about this movie.
I was bored out of my skull watching this movie. I was doing 2 other things while this movie was going on.
Oh my!
That was
2
bad.
other things. Yikes!
I was removing paint from all my models I needed to remove paint from, and I was social media and doing things for us and other things I have going on. It was bad. I mean, it was real bad. I'm saying like 3 pushing 4 space harpies. Ryan Reynolds was very boring. The plot was very boring.
That sounds like a 4, since mine was only like 3.5.
We can go
that
4.
sounds like a solid 4.
Yeah, we can go 4. It was just bad and boring. I mean, it was slow paced. And physics was like gone on a lot of things. I mean, there's the way they transfer the consciousness of one person to another is through these giant MRI machines that have a bunch of magnets. And of course, they tell him, you took out all your feelings in your mouth, right? Because if you have all your feelings, we're going to be putting you in a large magnet, and that could cause devastating effect. Okay, we see the plot hook here.
I mean, yeah, that's a Chekhov's gun that's going to be fired in the 3rd act.
Yeah, and at the very end, he has a bullet in his mouth that he hid, and instead of the bullet, causing devastating effect, the bullet just went out of his mouth and stuck to the wall, but it didn't let the consciousness transfer. I'm like, really? That's it?
I mean, sounds like physics and science both left the building for that one.
Yeah, and like using a flamethrower, there was just like, it was bad. I would skip
but not
it.
as bad. I mean, on a scale of Casablanca to Atlantic Rim.
Oh, it's definitely closer to Atlantic Rim.
Oh, yeah, way closer to Atlantic Rim.
It's hovering right around Atlantic Rim from what you're describing.
I wouldn't say that far, but it is going up there pretty high. It wasn't
physically painful to him.
Yes.
Atlantic Rim is physically painful.
Yes. It was just really bad. I was really disappointed because they could have done some cool things, some better stuff, but nah, it was... Wash my hands of it.
Anything more worse than a poorly executed sci-fi concept?
No.
No, not really, no.
So,
Atlantic
on
Rim.
the other end of that, the more realistic and believable movie I saw this week than Drive with Mark Dacascos was Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, no spoilers.
No spoilers, which is based off... Okay, so, first thing. Spoilers, really, Gonzo? It's based off a manga and anime from last fucking century.
Correct, but here's the thing. Some people haven't seen that.
Well, get with your media, people. It's been around for forever.
Yeah.
I'll just say that it is very good. I like most of the performances. Some people will sort of badmouth one of the male leads' performances, but I actually thought it was fine. I didn't mind the extra wide-eyed effect they computer generated onto the lead actress to make her seem different.
I thought it was cool because you're expecting the uncanny valley, so if you make it obvious, then you don't have to...
It was less disconcerting than the uncanny valley.
That's what I'm saying. If you're making it obvious like that, then you don't get that creepiness.
Yeah, you didn't get the creepiness. It just made her seem different, and backstory, you'll see she is actually different. Very good. Follows a lot of the strokes of the anime, but actually harkens more back to the manga, which I have not actually read. I've seen the anime, where it brings a lot of stuff together to give you more of her background than was originally put in the anime. But enjoyable, definitely a visual spectacle. You need to see it on a big screen. It's very cool. Very enjoyable. The other big thing, this isn't really a spoiler, is someone mentioned that the Alita is not actually challenged really except for once, but that's not what the story is about. This is more of a Japanese story, so the hero can be almost perfect. It's not about their being able to whoop someone's ass and all that. It's about more emotional and background things. And I feel like they did a good job with that. I like pretty much all the performances. I didn't really dislike any part of it. Solidly paced. Most of the characters were supposed to be likable or likable. The ones who aren't likable are the guy who played Francis from Deadpool to Deadpool 1. And he's most supposed to be not likable. Ed Skeirin. And I enjoyed the crap out of it. I should go see it. I'm going to give it, 1, maybe 1.5 space herpes. Just because there are, it's not quite this perfect thing. There's some things you're like, yeah, that's okay, but overall, it's very, very well done. And so far, is the best movie I've seen in the theater this year.
Oh, okay.
Out of one. So
Out of one.
It's number one out of one. It's both best and worst at the same time. That's only because I missed Bumblebee in the theater because it's no longer a cheap theater, but I might be able to see Aquaman in the theater. We'll see if time allows. Gonzo, I know you got one more. Let's take us home.
I went and saw the last How to Train Your Dragon. Took my friend Erica with me because she is a huge How to Train Your Dragon fan. Super fan. Like, it goes Harry Potter and then How to Train Your Dragon type fan that she is. And I've watched all the How to Train Your Dragons. When it first came out, I was like, oh, okay, this is a silly kids movie. Watched it. No, this is a pretty damn good cartoon. And enjoyed it. Watched all the other movies. And then watched most of the TV series. So I was like, yeah, I'd like to see how the story ends, per se. And so we went to it. We had to go at 10:30 at night. Which I will never do again. I do not like watching movies that late in the theater. It was not the after or watching them that late isn't, in my opinion, that great. I like doing early morning, midday type thing.
I can do early evening, but yeah, the later you get, the harder it is because we go to sleep at a certain time.
Yeah. But we went and watched it. Animation was really good. They did do some animation, a little different animation styles in this, but it was like a more refined style because the cartoons and the other ones, of course, were previous type things. Music was good. That's one thing I gotta say about How to Train Your Dragon movies. They always have great music in it, always quality music. The story was pretty predictable. There was no shock in it for me. Erica said she was kind of shocked because that's not how she predicted it would go, per se. Which is okay, that's not a problem. It was good. It's definitely, there is an ending. They are not making any more. I'm glad they gave the story an end to everybody. To all the characters. And there's really not left anything else to do besides make another series and do some weird stuff. But they're not going to. They just said that's it. 'Cause they even talked to the actor that does Hiccup and says, yeah, this has kind of been my life for the last, 15, 20 years of doing this series. And he's going to miss it because that's all he's done mostly for the last 20 years, 15, 20 years is this show. But it was really good. I really liked it. So like I said, there were some minor things that were just like, okay, yeah, I see where this is going. Yep, I understand this, blah, blah, blah. But it was really good. Maybe one, if you're not into How to Train Your Dragons. If you're really pushing it to go for like a 1.5, but I would say 1 if you're not into the cartoon or don't know the story or not into it at all. But it was good. I really liked it. There were some good feels in it. There were quite a few people crying a couple of times in it. And in the theater was mostly all adults because it was so late. Which I thought also was weird is there was a lot of kids and I'm talking like 5 and 6 year olds at 10:30 going to the theater. And I'm like, why are parents bringing their kids this late?
I don't know. Maybe it's the only time they get away. I know it's tough being a parent, not being one I don't know. I try to throw too many stones as long as the kids are all behaved.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. But I mean, mostly it was adults in the theater, and it wasn't even full at all. But yeah, there was quite a few sniffles and so on and so forth, and ees and ahs and stuff and everything. But it was a good time. If you like the previous ones, you'll like this. So, like this, maybe pushing one Space Herpy. If you're not into it, you probably won't like it. But if you like the story and you like everything, you'll love it. So
awesome.
Other than that, that was it. I will say that the trailers sucked, by the way. The preview trailers, beginning of it, sucked.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of good trailers either. I don't even really remember them too much. I mean, there's some, like Godzilla King of the Monsters. Of course I'm fucking in. It's Godzilla King of the Monsters.
No, we didn't even get that.
Well, I mean, understandably. I mean, think about what you're watching. You're going to get kid stuff, and that's the hardest part about watching a kids movie, and sort of why I'm not going to watch Lego 2 in a in a theater, because I don't want to see all the crappy trailers. I want to see good trailers.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see if the Oscars have done the Best Animated Film Award and see if Spider-Man got it or not.
I saw something pop up in my feed that something happened.
Because it should. I know the woman who did the costumes for Black Panther won that, which is awesome. So we'll see. I guess we'll have more of that tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
And I'm Gonzo from More Than Dice, guys. Thanks for watching. We appreciate everything. Go check us out on our Patreon. Also, check us out on Facebook. And also, thanks to all of our sponsors, Mechanica Studio Muson Minis, and Tectonic Craft Studios. Guys, see us here next week. Also, make sure to check Kathy out on Mondays and Thursdays, live at 10 a.m. Central, as she will do some painting. She'll teach us something because she's really, really good. Other than that, good night, everyone.
Night. So speaking of going to the theater and having kids be there,
They're a
when
pain
I
in
went
the
to
butt.
see Kill Bill, I didn't expect kids to be in the theater, but
What?
when the lady wakes up from her coma and she's crying because she's no longer pregnant, the little kid, I hear a kid down in front ask her parent, "Why is that lady crying?"